So I've been dreaming about the Vesica Pisces. And for those of you who don't know what a Vesica Pisces is, it's a Venn diagram. So when I started hearing about Vesica Pisces, I was like, that just sounds like this really amazing, important thing. And to find out, it's simply two intersecting circles, or what I used as a Venn diagram in my teaching career. Basically what it does is it shows where things are different, and then in the very small center where the circles intersect, it's where there is commonality. And the commonality is usually smaller than the differences. And what I'm seeing for us moving forward is our differences are getting smaller and our commonality, the center in the middle, is getting bigger. Because we're all coming into wisdom. And it's this wisdom that we're coming into that is remembering unity, remembering compassion, remembering that we're safe and stable if we're nice, that kindness is not a weakness. It's actually, it can be harder, it can be better. Being kind can be really difficult when someone's being unkind or judgmental or just in their feels for whatever reason. And I really am feeling like we're coming into this energy where we see clearly where people aren't being kind. We're seeing clearly where people are being triggered. We're seeing clearly faults and foibles of ourselves and others. And that's why we have to get into that compassion. We have to drop down into that intersecting circle where everybody fits. That we're all at some point going to intersect with everyone else. And how can we use our wisdom, remember that we're all a part of the whole, and have compassion for that person that's not doing well. Have compassion for that person who's maybe in more negative energy or a negative space. How can we have compassion for someone who is grieving or is hurt in some way? And I feel like that's what we're being called to do right now, is have compassion for those in our life or that we're coming in contact with who are not in their compassion. They're not being there for you. They're not loving you the way that you would love them. They're not able to love you the way that you can love them for whatever reason. And we may never know what that is, but I feel like that's what we're being asked to do right now, is to drop down into our hearts and love everyone around us, whether they can love us back or not, because right now people are where they are. And sometimes that can be difficult to understand, that, to allow people to be in their judgment, in their pain, in their grief, in their criticism, in their greed, all those lower frequencies, whatever they are. So this is where you have to step up. You have to be the bigger person, and it kind of stinks sometimes. I get it. It kind of stinks having to be the bigger person all the time. But that's being part and parcel of God. And it is hard. And He died on the cross for us so that we could have these experiences and live in love, drop down into our heart and be of love. And so I feel like that's what we're being asked to do. Being asked to do. Keeping it real. Always keeping it real, right? So guys, today, this week, know that you are loved. Know that God loves you. That we love each other. But that where you're not being loved, where someone is going through something really difficult or really hard and they're not in their heart, right? They're in their ego, they're in their pain, they're in their suffering. Love them anyway. Set the boundary. You don't have to put up with it. You don't have to allow them to dump their stuff on you, but you cannot react. You can just kind of keep going in the direction that you need to go for yourself. and in your non-reaction, that is showing love and compassion, right? So this Vesica Pisces that I've been seeing in my dreams, it's because we're getting more into unity and less separate. And so I feel like these circles are coming together more. That space that is the third circle is getting bigger. And that's unity consciousness. That's getting into compassion. That's getting into wholeness. That is getting into being able to see people, love people, be there for people as they're there for you or not. It's not about them. It's about you. The only thing you can do is address and change your response, yourself, what it is that you're putting out. That's the only thing you can affect. That's the only thing. But by doing that, you do affect, you do change the energy around you, the people around you, the situations around you. So for those of you who are feeling like you don't have what you want or don't have what you need, you can change you, and that changes the people and the situations around you. So that's all we can do. Love each other, love yourself, set your boundaries, surrender to God that things are going to change positively for you. You don't know how and you don't know when, and that is the divine plan. That is what we have to allow God to bring into us, and be ready. Be ready. And don't have an expectation of what that opportunity is going to look like. Don't have an expectation of who that handout is going to come from. Don't have an expectation of the people that you're going to meet or the places that you're going to be drawn to. Leave that open. Leave that open. And yes, it's unknown. And yes, that unknown is a little scary. That's the surrender. That's the faith. So that's what you're being asked to do, is have faith. All right. Sending you so much love, so many blessings. We'll talk soon.